Good afternoon. I'm Tina Tasaka with Cannabis X America, and we are here at the Ultimate Women's Expo in Phoenix, Arizona, at the Phoenix Convention Center.
Woo!
Yeah. I am here with Erica, and she is with GuidedJourneys, and she is a licensed therapist. She is working with patients that have trauma or they need help. They have maybe severe depression, and they may have PTSD. It could just be a wide assortment of so many things, right, Erica?
Correct.
Yeah, and you've been working with patients for now close to 18 years or more.
Yeah.
And you're helping patients with ketamine.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. So earlier we were talking to Stacy. So Stacy came on board with us here on the show. And welcome, Erica.
Thank you for having us.
I'm so excited to talk to you. And it's what Stacy and I talked about too. Is that ketamine, just a lot of people don't know a lot about it. Just like a lot of people don't know a lot about cannabis still.
Right.
And that we have stigma on both. On these plant-based alternatives, plant-based medicines, things that are helping people across the globe. And so let's dive in here. What are you doing with ketamine to help people?
Well, I think one of the things that we really kind of stand us out is that we are licensed professional therapists. For a good portion of the time as ketamine has come out, the FDA approved it as an anesthetic, so it was really medical doctors, anesthesiologists, all of that stuff that were really working with this medication. And then as the research started to, we were doing more research on it, it realized that the ketamine in conjunction with the psychotherapy is what was showing drastic sustainable results. And so I think that there is a lot of buzz, right, and not a lot of education.
Right.
So,
tons of buzz. I mean, when ketamine hit the market, it was massive buzz. It was it just flooded the market.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And everybody's microdosing now.
But then nobody knew anything about it. So everybody
Right.
was just going out, and it was like a money grab.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And so a lot of the places they are doing better work at trying to have a coach come in and trying to focus on the integration part of it. I think the really hard part is that if you don't know what you don't know. Right? So it's if you're going into a place that you're trusting because it's a doctor or a med provider, and it's okay, you know best, right? You know what to do. You know how to help me heal. And it's but I'm not a medical doctor. I would never say that I'm a medical doctor, right? So I did not go through that many years of schooling. And good for them. But at the same time, it's that psychotherapy piece is so pivotal in helping to rewire and integrate and find those associations that we hold at a subconscious level. And I think with ketamine, a lot of the plant-based medicines, because it is a very neurological and conscious-driven experience, if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't have the proper training, then it's you can do just as much damage.
Oh, there's no question about that. Absolutely. One of the things that I really appreciated that Stacy said is that, that you folks are recommended by doctors and hospitals. That your practices are recommended because you are experienced. Mm-hmm. You are absolutely experienced. Mm-hmm. And so you guys are highly recommended. And also, I had asked if the VA also recommends ketamine for veterans, and that answer, of course, was yes as well. And I think that's important information to pass along to the public because they need to know that, that those things are approved, but, that you guys do get referrals from hospitals and doctors.
Yes.
And that they know you guys. And I think it's great. It's fantastic.
And I think what you guys are doing here with education and this is so needed.
It
for
is.
The community.
It is. It's so needed. Oh gosh, yes.
Right? And it's
we have to just keep hammering it. We have to just keep pounding in the nail.
Yeah.
If we could clone ourselves, boy, I got to tell you, we would, because there's got to be 4 other events going on right now that we could be at talking about education. But, clone us, right?
Yes.
All of us.
But we need more people that are like that. We need to bring that education to the masses, because it's like even with the VA or, like first responders, right? It's like there's such benefit to this coupleship or this myriad of the psychotherapy. And it's like, and I've seen a lot of clients that have to jump through hoops to kind of get these services. And it's like, whether it's with marijuana, whether it's with psilocybin, whether it's with ketamine, it's like all of these natural kind of conscious-driven, plant medicines and all of that stuff. It's not getting the correct traction, I feel like sometimes, or it doesn't have the correct education behind it. And so people are either having to go underground, or they're, potentially having to experiment themselves with some of these things because they're looking for that healing.
And some people are looking for shortcuts.
Yes, 100%.
People want shortcuts.
100%.
I want to take the one pill and be done with it. Here you go. Here's a pill.
And I have found that all of my clients so far, like out of all of them, I think 2 of them have not seen a 180-degree turnaround. And those were the 2 that had never done therapy prior. And so they were looking for the quick fix. And so now, and I mean, everything's growing pains, right? Like even as somebody who's educated, like we did do a year-long training extensively around this stuff. But it's like, even with that, there's always, everybody's unique. Everybody's different, right?
And everybody's going to go at the pace that they're going to go on.
Right.
You can't expect one person that goes. So I did want to ask you. So it's about six different tracks that they'll go on, right?
Yep.
Approximately.
Yep, 4 to 6
to go through the whole journey, right?
Correct.
So from the moment that you meet the person that's going to undergo the therapy sessions and alongside the ketamine, about how long does that take?
From start to finish?
Yes.
So ideally, the research has shown to have the most effective results, it would be 4 to 6 sessions over a 2 to 3 week period.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So but it's intensive.
Okay.
It's very intensive. So, we're looking at doing, just for an example, you do an intake session, we'd schedule you with our med provider, we do a prep session, so again, set and setting, what's your intentions, we kind of we manage your expectations. Some people think, I'm going to go in and have a trip, and it's like, no, your brain and body knows what it needs to heal.
Sure.
So let's practice trusting that, all right, trusting in ourselves and putting that effort there. And then ideally we would look Monday, Wednesday, Friday. On those dosing days, we would integrate you right after, so that's about a 3-hour session. And then we would integrate you again on Tuesday, Thursday, and then Saturday. So it's an intensive treatment. So I'm seeing you 6 days a week for 2 weeks. Okay. Or I'm seeing you, 5 days a week, 4 days a week for 3 weeks.
I actually did think it was going to be a longer process. I thought it was going to go over the course of I thought it was going to be several months, to be honest with you.
No.
Wow.
I know.
Okay.
When done correctly, a fraction of the time that it would take.
And is there ever a case where somebody might want to go into reclusiveness to do this?
So everybody's different.
Okay.
So some people, and I'm very into kind of working with inner child wounds and really kind of gathering the pieces of yourself that sometimes trauma or experiences have kind of left you not as whole, and so as we're gathering the pieces of ourselves, sometimes we do need to isolate.
Okay.
Sometimes we need to go into ourselves to find ourselves. And especially when we have, intergenerational trauma, if we have mother wounds, father wounds, it's really hard to reparent yourself or become your own perfect partner if you're constantly in these relationships. So really kind of going within and healing in relation to yourself as you're gathering.
Gosh, there's so much to unpack in all of this, isn't there? Oh,
I know.
Gosh. And I know we're going to jump onto a longer one here shortly, over the course of the next month.
Yeah.
Definitely the 3 of us can jump on, but it's just so remarkable what you're doing and the fact that people are just recovering fully from, 25 years of PTSD or 50 years of PTSD. It's just, and I have seen things, even from psilocybin, and I know psilocybin is coming as well, but it's just so remarkable what you guys are doing, and thank you for what you're doing and that you're helping people. It's amazing.
Thank you for having us, and thank you for what you're doing.
I can see it in your eyes. I can see your passion about it, and but yeah, definitely everybody. If you can check out Guided Journeys, and what Erica and Stacy are doing. They are doing wonderful things, working with people, veterans, and PTSD, and people that have depression, and people that have other forms of.
And even personal growth or spiritual growth,
okay. That's a good way of putting it.
Because not everybody's different,
Everybody is different. Mm-hmm. Everybody is different. Everybody on the planet is different that might want some kind of therapy or some kind of reason that they want to go through a journey. Yeah. Well, Erica, thank you so much for jumping on the show with us.
Yes, thank you so much for having us.
Wonderful, great time meeting you today here
Thank you.
at the Ultimate Women's Expo here in Phoenix. And we'll get back to the show here. It's going to be ending up here shortly. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Tina Tasaka, Cannabis X America.